Hello, my name is Mary Luker, and this video is being made because of a conversation that came up recently about the Pikes Peak Marathon. It's run each year. It starts at the bottom of the peak and goes up the mountain, and it says that it's an A-farm formation, so you can see from this picture why they call it that. Ed Epperson lives with me, and he has run the Pikes Peak Marathon 3 times. If you're running uphill and someone is already coming downhill, then you have to let them have the right of way. Here's a picture of Ed actually running in the Pikes Peak Marathon, and he raised thousands of dollars for a program called Ending World Hunger. And here's a good picture of him coming up to the top of the peak. 1983. This is 2023, so that was 40 years ago. Here's some things I want to tell you about 1983. My daughter, Claire Jane Luker, and I won first place in the Daisy Run mother and daughter race. I have an old copy of the American Statesman, and it shows that my son, Johnny Luker, won 3rd place in the Capital 10,000 when he was 12 years old. That was 12 and under category. And a few years later, their dad, Dr. John Luker, won the Texas Triathlon. And back to the Capital 10,000, we have the 40-year-old women category, and I won first place in that. There's a man that came up and said that he was going to run the Pikes Peak Marathon, and would I be willing to donate $20 if he did it? I knew who this man was because we all lived in Westlake. We lived at 5000 Bee Cave, and he had a pet hospital, and his daughter was a good friend of my daughter's. In fact, I gave her a guinea pig. So, of course, I told him yes. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I got a phone call, and he said, "Here's where you send the $20. Now, there's a reason this conversation has come up in 2023. Ed moved into this house in 1986, and he brought with him some pictures. Let's see, there are many pictures in this hallway.
So one of the things I'd like to get clear is that our identity is facile. So this is a picture of me when I was 40, and I'm 84. So people say, "Is that you?" And the truth is, it's kind of sort of me sometimes because we have the same Social Security number. But basically, let me just guide you through these photographs so you can be more familiar with my family. So wedding with Jimmy Reese and his wife Julie. This is the Boston Marathon in 1981. But I was at like 3 hours and 6 minutes right there, and this guy's 3 hours and 6 and a quarter. So it's kind of fun to look at that picture. This is a picture of my friend Krešo Lukers from Zagreb, Croatia. And he and I have been skiing together for about 25 years. About 10 years ago when we quit. This is the Pikes Peak Marathon. It's really not a marathon, it's 28.8 miles. Actually, there's 2 races. One is from the bottom to the top, and one's from the bottom of the top to the bottom. So this one took me 6 hours and 15 minutes, and the winner went in 3 hours and 50 minutes. This is a picture of me when I was about 2, and my friend. This is a picture of me when I was about 45. This is a picture of me snow skiing up in Utah, and I remember getting ready for this photograph because it'd be the last time I'd get photographed like that ever. It's a real special picture. This is my family when I was 40, and this is my family when I was 45. Thank you.
If you look very closely at Ed's picture of the start of the marathon, you can see him at the front. And then you start looking at the picture closer, it looks like the front of a train. And Ed told me that there was a train, an old train that would take people up to the top of Pikes Peak. When I was 9 years old, my dad drove up to the top of Pikes Peak, and I used to have dreams of falling backwards in the car. I found that that train now is in a museum, and there's a new red train that zooms to the top. Then I looked at the sign some more that said Pikes Peak Marathon, and there's a small emblem on it. And I worked and worked to see what that was. So I went back and researched logos for Pikes Peak Marathon, and over the years they've constantly changed their logo. And then I found a file with things that Ed had saved. Here's a flyer that tells about the Runners Club to End World Hunger. And there's a flyer that shows the emblem. So that's what that is. One day I got the idea, if I painted a larger picture, this picture is 8 by 11, and I decided to paint a picture 16 by 20 so it would show the runners better. Yay! The painting is complete. Thank you for watching.